Good evening and thank you for joining us for this Fireside chat. I'm Jennifer White, PETA UK's Senior Media and Communications Manager. Today, we'll take you to parts of the world to see how groups supported by PETA's Global Compassion Fund, or GCF, are having a profound impact on animals who are in urgent need of help. First, the elephant in the room is Gaza. We cannot go there as the border is closed. It is an awful situation for animals there, as you can imagine. They do not start or wage wars, but like children, they suffer greatly when caught up in them. Before the borders closed, we were able to give some funds to help animals there and in Israel. And now we've appealed to the UN Secretary General to please include vital supplies for animals to aid convoys entering Gaza. But even those are not working well. We are watching closely to see if any possibility of helping arises. And sadly, that's not the only war going on. We will take you to Ukraine, where even as the war there heats up and winter conditions are severe, heroic rescuers continue to save animals, even from the front lines. This week marks the somber 2-year anniversary of the broader conflict, and the second anniversary of the determined rescue work that has saved many thousands of animals' lives. PETA Germany and their partners at Animal Rescue Kharkiv will take us inside some of the safe havens for animals that have been built thanks to GCF funds, and introduce us to some of the residents. Then we'll visit totally impoverished parts of neighbouring Romania, where PETA Germany recently celebrated 5 years of vastly improving conditions for homeless and neglected animals. And on to Mexico for a look at PETA Latino's hugely successful and fun spay-a-thons. And we'll end today's journey in the Philippines, where PETA Asia's fieldwork, free clinics and adoption events are changing people's hearts and minds as we're saving their animals' lives. We'd love to hear from you at any time during our chat. Just use the comment box below this video player to share your thoughts or ask questions about the programs we're discussing. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Gotje Vlasic with PETA Germany. Gotje?
Thank you, Jennifer. One of the joys of my position as online fundraising manager for PETA Germany is seeing all that we are accomplishing for animals with the help of Global Compassion Fund donors. You may recall that PETA Germany had a rescue team on ground within 72 hours after war broke out in Ukraine, rushing food and other vital supplies to animals in some of the hardest hit areas. These wonderful teams began pulling injured, starving and traumatized animals to safety, and they are still doing that. Together with local groups like Animal Rescue Kharkiv, or ARC, and others which are supported by the GCF and a network of brave volunteers, they have rescued more than 15,000 animals so far. Miraculously, ARC has been able to reunite 60% of these animals with their families. But when that isn't possible, they work through complicated government regulations to ferry the animals to partner shelters and adoptive homes in other countries. Meanwhile, the GCF has allowed us to build interim holding shelters that provide a safe haven for hundreds of animals while they recover and are treated by veterinarians from a PETA-funded clinic. Here's a look at one of these beautiful safe spaces, a cat refuge in Kharkiv. Every day, searchers scour ruined villages and leveled buildings to ensure that no animal is left behind. Near the front lines, in a small village, they found pregnant horse Maria, who had stepped on a landmine, shattering her hoof. The team gave Maria round-the-clock care, which included helping her with the overwhelming mental trauma of her ghastly injury. She was in need just one more surgery before she could be fitted with a prosthetic hoof, but it wasn't to be. The weight of all that Maria had endured before she was rescued proved to be too much, and she passed away quietly without having a chance to give birth. Her caregivers were grateful that she slipped away without pain and will remember her with love. The situation looked nearly as grim for Lada, who had lost the use of both her hind legs and was lying on the ground outside covered in flies and maggots. Thankfully, locals knew to contact ARC for help. Ukrainian troops providing aid to residents often alert our teams to animals in need of assistance. A missile destroyed Hamlet's home, and his legs were wounded by shrapnel. His guardian had no way of accessing veterinary care. However, kind soldiers called ARC, who came to him and rushed him to their GCF-supported clinic in Kharkiv for emergency surgery. You'll be happy to hear that Hamlet was soon walking again and even wagging his tail as he soaked up affection from the clinic staff. Every day, the GCF-funded clinic treats 100 or more sick or injured animals and spays or neuters about 150 animals every month for free. PETA Germany also navigates challenging customs requirements to bring in supplies and food each month. To date, 8 workers have delivered more than 1.5 million kilograms or 3.3 million pounds of food to animals still inside the country. These teams are a critical lifeline for animal victims of war, and they are committed to keep up the work in Ukraine for as long as it takes, no matter the risk. Now let's go next door to Romania, where PETA Germany has just commemorated 5 years of improving animals' lives through the PETA Helps Romania project. Romania has the highest population of homeless animals in Europe, and almost no enforced laws to protect them. In 2013, the government passed a law that provided funding for people who round up stray dogs and either bring them to municipal killing stations or kill them themselves. Sadly, this created a cruel revenue stream for individuals in an economically disadvantaged country. But PETA Germany and our allies at Romanian organization Eduxanima are bringing about change. We are pushing the European Union to require the Romanian government to comply with EU standards for humane animal care and management. And we are working directly with politicians and authorities to enforce the Romanian Animal Welfare Act and to establish new policies for the ethical treatment of animals. Our work has resulted in improved government cooperation. We have also been able to develop a mobile spay-neuter program that is supported by the Romanian Veterinary Authority and receives assistance from local vets. To date, our team has performed more than 35,000 free sterilization surgeries, meaning hundreds of thousands of unwanted animals have not been born. We conduct humane education classes in schools too to try to stop this cycle of problems. So far, 20,000 children and young people have completed courses that help them learn how to care for their own animals and develop greater empathy for others. And of course, relief workers carry out life-saving field operations. In areas where many people live in abject poverty, dogs are often kept on short, heavy chains with no protection from the heat or cold and are denied adequate food, water, and veterinary care. Together with our local partners at Eduxanima, we educate guardians about the animals' needs and provide them with the tools to give their companions compassionate care. Thanks to GCF donors, we have outfitted just over 500 dogs with sturdy dog houses that offer some protection from the harsh winter as well as the lightweight tie-outs. we have delivered 85,000 kilograms or more than 187,000 pounds of food, provided surgeries and medical treatment to more than 50,000 animals in 45 villages, and found more than 1,000 animals loving adoptive homes. To celebrate these and many more success stories in Romania over the past 5 years, PETA Germany and Eduxanima hosted a festive anniversary event on International Animal Day to encourage engagement. It drew a large number of supporters, including the head of the highest veterinary authority and many local mayors, and garnered excellent press coverage for animal issues. That these officials would desire to appear with animal organizations is quite a change in attitude. PETA Germany and our partners are determined to keep improving the situation for animals in Romania for years to come. And now, back to Jennifer.
Thank you, Gotche, and thank you to the Global Compassion Fund supporters who are ensuring that kindness to animals extends across borders and barriers. If you would like to send a message of encouragement to the teams on the ground, many of whom have left their homes, families, and personal safety behind to carry out this work, just use the comment box at the bottom of the video, and our GCF coordinators will send your notes to them in the field. And now I'd like to introduce Rachel Bellis.
Thank you, Jennifer. While my day-to-day role as PETA's Associate Director of Local Affairs has me frequently working with elected officials and law enforcement to protect animals near PETA's Virginia headquarters, one of the most satisfying parts of my job is helping PETA Latino spay and neuter animals in Mexico like there's no mañana. We're combating the massive animal overpopulation crisis in poverty pockets surrounding the tourist city of Cancun and in the Mayan village of Chichimila. We host free spay-a-thon events and always get a warm welcome from residents. We're doing pop-up clinics in schools and community spaces with the help from the local municipal shelter and veterinarians. When the students at one Cancun elementary school learned about the importance of spaying and neutering and discovered that their school was going to be turned into a temporary surgical center to help animals, they got excited and they got involved. The children made colorful posters advertising the event and urging people to bring their companion animals in. Local business owners also got in on the action, displaying the signs in their local shop windows. Latin celebrities, including Marco Antonio Regil, Erica Fernandez, and Sofia Cisniega, have helped encourage people to bring their dogs and cats by welcoming fans to our clinics, and Cancun Mayor Ana Patricia Peralta almost always stops by to cheer on the workers and talk to attendees. While the families are patiently waiting for their animals, we provide vegan burritos for lunch, hand out animal-friendly books and activity sets to the children, and we also fit dogs and cats with what are sometimes their very first collar or harness. Since the launch of this GCF-funded program, our team has provided free spay-neuter surgeries to more than 3,000 companion animals. We also treat the patients for internal parasites, ear mites, fleas, mange, and all sorts of other ailments, and have sent their guardians home with medications and information about proper care. Here are just a few of the animals we've helped.
Gracias por el apoyo. Mil gracias de corazón, humildemente, a nombre de todo Cancún. Les agradezco mucho lo que están haciendo.
Quiero agradecer a PETA por esto que está haciendo, porque es una gran ayuda que sterilice a nuestras mascotas de forma gratuita.
While the veterinary team snips, another team combs the sidewalks and alleyways and returns with their arms full of neighborhood animals who also need our services. We journey into the poorest rural areas in search of animals who require help. On one field day, we found this little dog wandering the streets, covered in mats so severe that each step was painful as clumps of hair pulled and yanked at his skin. We scooped him up and took him back to the local shelter for a much-needed shave. He felt so much better afterwards, and after a few days, he was put up for adoption. We came across another dog named Snoopy, who was gentle and friendly despite being confined to a rocky, garbage-strewn yard with no shelter whatsoever from the elements, including torrential rains. The team cleaned up his yard and provided him with a new collar, a lightweight tether, and a doghouse, all of which he loved. But it was the new bowl of tasty food that he was most excited about. His owners took note of it all. Our work in the Yucatan has caused quite a buzz in Mexico, and we jumped at the chance to help support a spay-a-thon in Puebla. This powerhouse team sterilized 821 cats and dogs in just 3 days for free. Viva la castración! We'll be returning to the Cancun area this spring for our next spay-a-thon and neighborhood canvassing, going to some of the poorest areas you can imagine. And we have so many more of these essential events planned in the future. Now let's pop in on Ashley Fruno to see some of PETA Asia's work in the Philippines.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I'm the Director of Animal Assistance Projects for PETA Asia. I consider the Philippines to be my home now after residing here for the last 17 years. I've held many roles at PETA over the years, but currently, I'm leading our dog and cat rescue team, which we call Ampon Alaga. Ampon Alaga, which is Filipino for adopt an animal, is supported by the Global Compassion Fund. Our focus is on providing medical care, spay and neuter surgeries, and emergency response services in areas of the Philippines which are deeply impoverished. In these communities, homeless dogs and cats are a common sight. They're forced to scrounge for scraps of food and search for clean drinking water just to survive another day. And they're not the only ones on the streets. Families who are struggling themselves commonly allow their animals to roam freely in search of their own food. With no money for even basic veterinary care, including spaying and neutering, the animals reproduce and the overpopulation crisis spirals out of control. But Ampon Alaga is working to change that. Together with our partner Biyaya Animal Care and a network of dedicated volunteers, we hold free monthly sterilization clinics, which in 2023 alone fixed more than 4,300 animals. These animals and many others also receive urgently needed care, including vaccinations and treatment for mange, fleas, and ticks. For most of these animals, it was the first time they had ever received veterinary care. At one recent clinic in Tondo, Manila, one of the capital's most at-risk areas, we had 5 veterinarians operating from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. to sterilize 401 animals. That's 94 dogs and 307 cats in just one day, all at no cost to their guardians. This particular spay and neuter clinic had special significance to our team. Just before it took place, one of our dedicated team members, Butch Silva, passed away unexpectedly. Butch was a hero to animals and was instrumental in our spay and neuter program, but during this clinic, we were all convinced that Butch was watching over us as it was a huge success. Our team is also on call 24/7 to respond to animal emergencies. A concerned citizen filmed poor Leah's heartbreaking cries as she struggled to hang on after falling down a steep, rocky embankment into the creek below. Local officials weren't responding to residents' pleas for help until PETA Asia got involved. 3 staffers immediately rushed to the scene while simultaneously calling on authorities and the fire department to act, since we didn't know how much longer sweet Leah could hang on. Fortunately, we reached 2 district officials who were able to pull Leah to safety, and when we reached the spot, we found her exhausted, hungry, and grateful for the food and medical attention we provided. Barbosa fell off a roof. The tiny kitten was suffering from a severe upper respiratory infection. Alice was emaciated and struggling to survive on the streets of Cavite with mange so severe that she was almost completely hairless. Amber was found terrified, cowering in a canal on the busy streets of Makati. And Leslie was taken in by PETA Asia after her homeless owner suddenly died, leaving the loyal dog to fend for herself on the roads of Pasay. But you'll be happy to know that Barbosa, Alice, Amber, and Leslie all made remarkable recoveries thanks to the quality medical care they received, all funded by GCF donors. They were all adopted by loving families, and just look at them now. Nearly 100 other cats and dogs also found solid, permanent homes in 2023 thanks to our adoption extravaganzas and the committed volunteers who helped staff them. At a 2-day vegan festival, our colorful adoption booth and its parade of irresistible animals drew lots of attention. We gave out hundreds of adoption leaflets and stickers, along with loads of vegan starter kits and other materials encouraging a healthy, humane way of living. Our puppy playpen was a particular favorite, and popular Filipino celebrity Nadine Lustre stopped by the booth to help. With a vegan photo shoot for PETA Asia already in the works, Nadine also posed for photos with our adoptable animals for us to share on social media. And she filmed a short video right on the spot about the importance of our Adopt Don't Shop campaign. As a result of all this, we placed several animals with loving families. Thank you so much to our GCF donors, and now back to Jennifer.
Thank you, Ashley. Before we sweep up the hearth and extinguish the flames on another fireside chat, I'd like to give you just a rapid thumbnail update on how GCF-supported teams are helping animals in Jordan, Peru, Afghanistan, and India. As the PETA-supported on-site veterinary clinic in Petra, Jordan, continues to treat the suffering donkeys and camels forced to haul tourists despite wounds and injuries, they encounter other animals who could use help. Recently, the team was alerted to a cat colony that was reproducing at a breakneck pace. They quickly stepped in and sterilized 24 cats for free, and will be doing the same for the kittens in a few weeks. And since PETA didn't have a spay-neuter initiative in Peru, longtime member and Peru native Maru Vigo decided to start one. With backing from the GCF, she has organized pop-up clinics in areas where resources and funds are scarce. To date, they have sterilized more than 1,500 animals. As the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan continues, the GCF is helping an extraordinary group of brave individuals who run the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. Despite insurmountable odds, this organization is providing emergency and routine veterinary care for homeless animals and those whose guardians are among the many now experiencing poverty and hunger. They offer spay-neuter surgeries, vaccinations, and other services at no cost, and they provide food to owners and to the caregivers who feed animals in their neighborhoods. They also take in animals from the streets, usually those who need specialized medical care, to give them a safe and pleasant place to stay while they await their chance at adoption. These incredible advocates even conduct community outreach on humane animal treatment and the prevention of embedded collar injuries, which are common. It's heartening to see the difference the GCF is making. Lastly, India. The animals at Animal Rahat Sangli Sanctuary enjoyed a fun-filled day recently as the group celebrated 20 years of progress for animals in India. Our sister group started with a small band of kind people offering free veterinary care and other urgent relief to donkeys, horses, bullocks, and other animals forced to do back-breaking labor. They rescued and retired as many as they could. Today, thanks to the GCF, Animal Rahat now runs 4 beautiful, peaceful sanctuaries that are home to hundreds of rescued animals and operates 5 field offices and multiple always-on-the-go emergency response teams that perform daring and impressive rescues. The group's spay, neuter, and rabies vaccination program has now been adopted in 26 Maharashtrian villages, sterilizing and vaccinating 95% of the dog population in them. These villages have seen 0 new cases of rabies, and the team is working with other villages to expand this vital work. But dogs and cats aren't the only ones. Animal Rahat is also revolutionizing castration for bulls and other large animals. The group has trained hundreds of veterinarians and students in India to perform painless castrations for bulls. Sorely in need of an upgrade, the old method consists of crushing the nerves of the testicles between two stones. All 76 bullocks who live at Animal Rahat sanctuaries and hundreds of others who live in nearby villages have been sterilized using the painless method, and the group is determined to make it standard practice throughout the country. Not to be outdone, PETA India's own wide-scale sterilization program is working to fix 100% of the street cats living in Mumbai. And Animal Rahat's great big move is now complete. Panic struck last year when the Supreme Court of India issued an order to move all domesticated animals out of a nearly 5,000-acre elephant corridor. This tract of land ran straight through the group's sister sanctuary in the Nilgiri Hills. To make things even more difficult, the order came during monsoon season, when many roads are impassable. But despite torrential rains, the staff built a new home for 125 rescued donkeys at our new sanctuary in Gundlipet, and they are settling in wonderfully. Now, the team is settling the recently moved sheep and goats from the elephant corridor to the sanctuary in Sangli. Their 5-star accommodation is complete, and they are leaping about and being naughty, no doubt, very soon. I hope that it brings you great joy to see how PETA's Global Compassion Fund is directly impacting animals' lives and improving the outlook for their futures every day around the world. If you aren't yet part of the indispensable circle of animal advocates who are ensuring that these programs continue, please consider becoming a monthly GCF donor. Your support means the world to all the animals and us. Just click the link at the bottom of your screen to visit the donation page. Any amount that you can contribute is always greatly appreciated, and every penny goes directly to funding this critical work. And to those of you who made the rescues you've heard about today possible, on behalf of Lada, Snoopy, Barbosa, and many, many others, thank you. Goodbye.